Barrett, Cohen on WLSN Radio, the LaSalle Network, kind of TV too. We do it all here at LaSalle High School, and we're here with the Hardcourt Report, our first one on TV. And I have with us right now one of your color analysts for the basketball team, and he is, what is your name again? I keep wanting to call you Bret Sims. Bret Schnieber here, and Bret, put a little pressure on me there. There's too many Brets on the broadcast, but Bret, the Lancers are 6-0 going into tonight's game. By the time this airs, hopefully they would have win number 7. But the Lancers are doing what the Lancers need to do, and that's get some victories and putting them together. And as we air tonight, the Lancers are number 1 in the city. How big is that for a team that if you ask Coach Fleming before the season started, they probably wouldn't win a game at all?
I don't know if Flem would ever say they wouldn't win a game. Knowing him, he thinks he's going to win the majority of the games. For them to be 6-0 right now, number 1 in the city, I think is a little bit of a surprise for Flem, and the fact that they did lose a lot of firepower coming out of last year. But as a lot of people have said, nothing ever changes with LaSalle basketball.
It's a basketball team that really is playing with 5 guards. I mean, they don't have a big man underneath for this basketball team. And there was a lot of people concerned about that. The Lancers coming, as I said, with a 5-guard team. Can you remember a team here at LaSalle High School that played really with no big man inside?
I can't remember one. It's been a long time. You go all the way back. I mean, you think of all the big men that played here back under Coach Cady. Coach Cronin had a couple big guys. I was at the Oak Hills game a few nights ago, last week, and I'm sitting with my cousin who's seen a lot of LaSalle basketball, and he turned to me when they jumped center, and he looked and said, "Oh my goodness, you're right. They don't have anybody over 6 feet." And I said, "You're exactly right, but you're going to enjoy watching these guys play."
And they're not intimidated by that. I mean, you look up and down that roster from the first 5 that come in to the next 6. They're not intimidated to play the big boys. We saw it against Walnut Hills. They brought the big boy, 6'9" junior into the game. They didn't care. It alters their game very little because they do what LaSalle basketball does. That's play tough defense, and that's play in a rhythm that really takes a lot of offenses out of the game by the third quarter.
Yeah, with the structure of offense that LaSalle has, they run what a lot of people would refer to as the Princeton offense, where there's nobody in the low post. There's not a big man down low. They spread the court, and what it forces teams to do is it forces them to play a 2-3 zone. They don't want to play man-to-man because they're afraid of getting beat on all the backdoor cuts, and what that does, it allows open shots for anyone who has the basketball in an open situation, and Flem doesn't hold anybody back from shooting. Everybody has the green light to shoot the basketball.
And that's one thing, too. If a guy's off, everybody on that team is encouraging them just keep shooting because eventually this team's going to get hot. Let's fast forward. Hopefully we get that win tonight here against Schroder. The Lancers then would be 7-0, and they would play the second of 6 games inside the GCL South, and they're going to Price Hill to play. The Elder Panthers are down this year on paper, but anytime you get 2 teams playing inside the conference of the GCL South, you and I know the best conference in the country, it doesn't matter what the records are.
No, not at all. Elder is struggling right now. They're 1-5. They've lost their last 2 to Walnut and West High, and honestly haven't looked real good doing it. They have beaten Hamilton-Baden this year, who's never going to compete all the time, night in and night out with the GCL South teams. But right now, Elder's struggling. But going into the pit, as they like to call it over there, some people refer to it as other things.
The armpit. I can say that.
Well, you said it, not me.
Thank you. We'll blame it on our producer, Mike Nye, who's running the camera. Go ahead.
But going into that gymnasium, it's always a hostile environment. Their students, they back their players and their coach better than just about anybody in the city. They have great tradition over there. And as you look at it, it's going to be a tough game. No matter how Flem wants to spin it, he will have his guys ready.
Folks, you can catch all the action with the Lancers and the Elder Panthers on Friday night. They tip it off at 7:30. We'll have the pregame coverage on WLSN Radio. Maybe you got an iPhone, Android app, or perhaps you're listening at radio.LaSalle Network. I should quiz you on this. Radio.LaSalle.net. He's a quick learner. Or check it out on your iPhone or Android app. We got you covered. Whatever you want to do, pregame starts at 7:15. For Bret Schnieber, Barrett Cohen, WLSN, the LaSalle Network.